Hi everyone, it's a great privilege to talk to you at the Teach Me Icons, the History Edition. You're going to hear from two wonderful historians, Helen Carr and Philippa Vincent Connolly. So I'll just keep this brief. I was hoping to be able to show you a nice view. I'm actually in Antarctica at the moment. There's a beautiful sea ice out the window, but there's a blizzard going on. You can't even tell the difference between the sea ice and the sky at the moment. So a useless view. I'm very sorry. I'm hiding in this icebreaker away from the bad weather. I'm actually talking to you at the end of February, and as I record this, Russian forces are invading Ukraine. Very stressful, very worrying time for everyone. This may be out of date by the time that you watch this in March. But it's reminded me of the importance of history. It's reminded me of the importance of forgetting the lessons of history. Ukraine, which has seen, as we break through the ice, the whole room shakes. I have to apologise for that. Ukraine, in the last 120 years, has seen the most extraordinary violence on its soil. The First World War, the horrors of the end of the First World War, the breakup of the Tsarist Empire, its reconstruction, the famine, Stalinist rule. Then, of course, mind-blowing violence, the Second World War. The battlefields of the Second World War went back and forward over Ukraine like the ebb and flow of a tide. Then it suffered under communist rule, and now, again, tanks are rolling across those broad steppes. And it's a world that I hope we'd never see. It's a world that I certainly hope my children would never have to grow up in. But maybe I was naive, because maybe a study of history should have taught me that as Plato said, I think, only the dead have seen an end to war. So I just think it's a reminder of the importance of history, of what we're all doing here. We're trying to teach people. I wish more people had taken young Vladimir Putin in hand when he was young and taught him about war, taught him about the horrors of war and the reasons that wars break out, and the very uncertain outcomes of war. So I don't think we need any greater example of the importance of history at this time. If we needed it, of course, we've got all sorts of things going on with the climate breakdown and the COVID of the last couple of years that remind us that nothing is new. These things have all happened before. And whenever people look at you and sort of squint, going, "You're a history teacher," you just tell them that you guys, we all as people that teach and broadcast and write and think about history, we're not actually interested in the past. It's not like we're obsessed to know about the intricacies of Henry VIII's wardrobe just for their own sake. It's because we're interested in the future, we're interested in the present. We're interested in what crazy ride we're on. And the answers don't lie in science, the answers don't lie in philosophy, I don't believe. The answers don't lie in international relations. The answers lie in history. It's how we tend to behave given certain circumstances, how things came to be. Why do the Russians believe that Donetsk is theirs? Why does China believe Taiwan is theirs? Why is there trouble in Ireland, in too many parts of the world? And that's why we're historians. That's why we love it. That's why we teach it to the next generation. And we hope that we're raising them to think about history, to understand how this all works. And we hope we're raising them not to turn out like Vladimir Putin. I think it's challenging, though. We all know that there's a huge pressure on kids to study STEM subjects, and that's great, and I hear that, and that's wonderful. But unless we have an understanding of how things work in politics, in our society, in our communities, how things have developed, how things go down, why did Russia turn into an autocracy when other nations didn't? Unless we understand that, it doesn't matter how many clever widgets we invent, we're going to be trapped in this hamster wheel. I think you guys are doing an amazing job from everything I see in inspiring young people. I've said this to you before, but I think in the internet, online tools. I mean, I did from the ship yesterday. I did a live TikTok that went out to 100,000 people, mostly very young people all over the world, and we hear it's being used in schools and things like it's. I'm glad to see that there's so many more tools than people had when I was a nipper a long time ago. I think passion, I think storytelling, and I think relevance. I think telling people why this stuff matters and why it's going to shape their lives and their families and communities is really, really important as well. Above all, I guess giving them a representative curriculum is important. If you have any wiggle room, I always remember going into various different types of schools and all around the UK. Some have lots of recently arrived Somalian students in them, and they're very interested obviously in the Horn of Africa and the history of that area. I think if we're able to talk to students, meet them where they are, talk to them about the things they're interested in now at the moment, that may be Ukraine, it may be around racial justice, it may be around climate justice and climate healing. And so I think if possible, let's meet the young people where they are and try and help them, bring them the history that they want. Because I've always believed that history is a source of constant fascination to people. We've just got to find the right type of history and the right language to use. Have a wonderful event. I'll leave you to the much more distinguished historians now. Thank you for inviting me on. I'll go and hope this snow stops falling.